Ladies and gentlemen, we're back like Cook. You know what it is, what it is. Coach Scrooge McBands. Listen, I thought I fucked up because I thought I had myself muted. Thank God I did not. So, my guys, we just talked some MLHF before AJ Galante's Major League Hockey fights coming 2026. I'm excited, but let me see if I can get this right. Listen, I'm 46 years old, and technology is not my favorite. Ooh, I think I did it right. So we're gonna look at some of these belts that we created, talk some shit, have some fun, and it's gonna play some music. And this is my boy,
Yo,
Mr. Great Cloud.
yo, yo, a lot of speculation on champions are made. How many losses and how many gains? Who playing for the ring and who playing for the love? The game has been the same since Jordan hit the shrug, get shot over Elo. Take it or leave it or get hooked like Debo or choke like Latrell did the coach. Welcome to the show. The chef is cyborg, saving sports radio. Football addicts, since they learn how to walk. Been giving 2 cents since they learn how to talk.
All right, there we go. We're back. Oh, you know what? I'm not doing bad. I'm not doing bad. I sized that shit up. All right, so I'm not even gonna hold you. Some of these belts are super fire, right? I'm curious. Tell me what your favorite belt is. I can't wait to send this to AJ, but I am biased to the goalie mask. I'm not even gonna lie
Yeah,
to you.
yeah. To me, I hands down, I agree. That shit was fire. I'm loving that one. They're all nice, but that goalie one, that was sick. Whoever came up with that idea with it, that was ill. I like.
That's me. I designed them.
Well, I like the straight up. That's the best one right there. I mean, that I think that's perfect for what they want to do. That one would be great. Got the that's fire. And to me, that's the one. They're all good, but definitely the goalie one, hands out. I think that's the best one.
After the goalie one, I was unimpressed with the rest after the goalie one, I will say.
Of
That
course,
goalie one was straight hot
Gatorade
fire.
over here. But no, it to be honest, all those it's hard. That goalie one is just so good. I mean, that to me is spot on. That would be perfect. Having your thing doing that, that's fire. I think that's what they need to do in the other place. Something like that.
Yep.
That is fire. That's fire.
See, and that's where, like the one right here, right? So that feels more like something you would see in like the wrestling industry, right? Like, so
Right.
I was like, AJ's a big wrestling guy. He was actually on an episode of WWE, yeah,
No.
in the early 2000s. No, this guy's legit. Like this guy's legit. I'm telling you, we got to get him on, pick his brain. So I was like, I know that if I make this one and he sees it, that one's going to take his interest as soon as he sees like, oh, they got something there, right? Like I dig that one. But
Right.
when we think Ice Wars, we think hockey. And when I was sitting here messing with shit, I was like, yo, the goalie mask would be fire. So it
Yep.
took me a little bit. Those two I made, but that first one is insane. And I was like, if you're gonna make a belt and you're trying to get your shit over, having a belt like that would go viral, right? Because no one has seen nothing like that.
Right.
And it'll be one of those like, yo, did you just see what? And what's this Major League Hockey fighting? I don't know, but that belt is fire, right? Like,
Right. That's true. I mean, yo, that's spot on. Like this is good as a starting one, but
yeah,
you can have that and the goalie one. But the goalie one's the one you want. That's
Yep.
the one you're fighting for. You know, like this could be a generic whatever, but the goalie one is the one you want. That's the one. I mean, again, bias, whatever, but that to me is fire. Especially going with the whole hockey thing. You can't. How could you not want that one? That's just it's great.
So it might be a dumb question, but is the goalie one just for goalies? Like there's certain belts for certain. No, it's for everyone. Okay, I was just wondering if it was going to be goalies only.
no, okay. So when you think hockey, you're thinking of sticks, right? But that'd be cliche. So you can't put a stupid hockey helmet because it's just with the ear hole things, right? You're like, But if I put a goalie helmet on, anyone who's anyone knows, oh shit, right? And not only that, is how many horror fans identify the goalie helmet with Michael Myers.
Yup.
So you're trying to Sorry, Jason. My bad, Mr. Horror Guy. Guys, he's muted, but he's talking shit to me, right? Like, my bad. So, Jason, Friday the 13th. So, if you had, let's just say, at some point you put these belts on the internet so people could buy it. You're telling me that a Jason fan won't sit there and go, yo, this reminds me of Jason, this is fire. I want that. What is Major League Hockey fights? And you're trying to tap into whoever. Having a dope belt puts you already at thing. And like with me and Coach David, we're from the WWF era, right?
Right.
Where to me, the greatest belt I ever seen in my life, but it plays into my blink shit, is the $1 million belt, right?
Yeah.
Legendary. The winged belt that WWF had was legendary. The WCW, I forgot their heavyweight that NWO spray painted on it. That's another legendary belt. Belts that have that kind of shit that people talk about are super unique, and everyone to this day people talk about that belt. The Smoking Skull belt was fucking fire because you never seen the smoke like that design on a belt before, and you had the skull center plate. I mean, it just talk epic. But then when you have a shitty belt like WWF has, a lot of people go, damn, some of these belts suck. So you're trying not to have the shitty belts, but you also want something no one has ever seen. Something so unique that you're like, man, this shit is dope. And when I sat back, I did all these. I did them to I want to hook, line, and fish, hook, line, and sinker AJ. I want to throw it out there and be like, oh, hold the head up, got him. Because when he sees the wrestling shit, being a guy who knows wrestling, he's going to like it. But when he sees that hockey shit, he's going to be like, them boys over there fucking on the Mobb, they got something going. So that's my attempt. And we all like the same one. There's like 7 belts in there. And yeah, these are cool. Those are cool.
Right.
That one is sick.
Yeah, because that's the one that catches the eye. You're like, whoa.
See, I'm glad we did it this way because the last time we were going to do this, I kind of sent you guys the video of it. And when I did the hockey one, I was like, oh, I'm not doing it. We're going to only have it on here so you guys see it straight up. Because I've seen it obvious, right? I'm like, this shit is fire. So I was like, yo, at this point, if I'm a hockey guy and I see that kind of title and we have a ranking system and I come up and I could be the first guy to hold that title, I'm going to talk mad shit, right? I'm going to fucking take that belt. I'm going to take pictures with that shit at McDonald's or, I don't care. I'm going to take that bitch everywhere I go. If I'm getting married, listen, my wife might have to, hold it up while she says I do or something. You know what I mean? Like, well, I'm already married, but you know what I'm saying.
No, yeah, that's fire. Like I said, this one is the original, and then those two, I'm telling you, those, because like you said, this plays into the wrestling aspect of it. I like it, nice. The other one plays into the hockey part of it. So you could find a way to put those a fire. I'm telling you, those are the best. Like I said, the hockey one, hands down. It's not even being biased, whatever. What it is, what it is. That thing is fire, bro.
So you said you would bring it anywhere. So if there was a funeral, you would just have it on your waist, like, "Hey, look at this." Huh.
Yeah, I'm burying.
Did I spell my name? Yeah, that's crazy.
So, okay, mute yourself. So let's just say, John Doe. We all know John Doe. Poor John Doe. God bless the dead. We're killing off a guy we don't even know. So John Doe dies, and the 3 of us are going to this funeral. If Coach David is the champion, I guarantee you, Coach David comes in with the belt around his waist. He's old school. It's around the waist, right? I don't think Coach David throws on the shoulder. I think he comes around the waist in a black suit. He's murdered out, got everything looking sharp, and he might do the lean over or put the belt halfway over the casket, right? Right? Like I can see it, pay respect. John Doe, right? He's the homie. He gets the belt real quick. But, this is it. That's his last hurrah. Once he leaves, and it's over. So, Coach David puts it on him. With me, it's over the shoulder, right?
Yeah.
I'm walking over, have the microphone, talk real quick how great I am, the greatest fighter of all time. I did this for John Doe. Everyone's John Doe, John Doe. And then I sit back I sit on top of this casket and I give him a eulogy right there and I put the belt over. That's mine. How do you represent John Doe in the belt?
Well, me first, I wouldn't bring a belt. That's crazy. Just walking up like, yo, look at this right here. But if I also respect him and I had to bring the belt, I'll just put on his casket and bury it with him.
Ooh,
Show
there is
respect.
a belt with him.
Send him off to Valhalla.
Wait. You can't. It's not your belt. It belongs to the company. You can't. Bury. Yo, bro, what is he doing right now?
Then I would have to be like, yo, I need you to rebury it so I can just get that belt.
Like, sorry, I know we dug him and buried him, but you need to re-dig him up, and I need that belt.
Coach David, am I at least close with you with the belt, or how would you approach it?
No, yeah, I would definitely have it around the waist. I wouldn't have it slapped around. You're definitely the shoulder guy coming in. Me, it would definitely be around the waist. Come in, and yeah, maybe I give a speech or whatever, not. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be, and then laying across the casket for sure.
See, so your man John Doe passed away. You know, we give him his little eulogy. A man don't exist somehow makes the podcast of how we got to represent this guy with a belt that hasn't been created, Joe. So, I mean, listen, it is what it is. But like I said, I love doing this. I was like, this is going to be a lot of fun. We're excited for Major League Hockey fights. I think the key thing that I would like to see is maybe do a draft, right? Like, I think play into the sports element of it. You know, leading up to it, you have, you know, it could be just 10 names, something like that. You know what I mean? Something small, or once a week you do 3 or 4. So leading up to your fight, we're seeing, you know, Coach David signs with Major League Hockey Fights, you know, #1 draft pick. And let me tell you, whoever that #1 guy is, there's a lot of pressure on you because you're the #1 pick to this company.
Right, because you're like going to be the face. Yeah, that's tough. That's the thing too. It's like, how are you going to go about that? Because you're right. Like, who's going to be your face to market? Like, obviously, Ice Wars had the Laporte brothers.
Yeah.
Who do you get? That's because that's going to be the key too. Because that you got to find a face that people are going to love, and then that can bring it to that next level. But also at the same time, you find that and get that heel. Because even within your brand, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even have to go if you just get your own roster within and just build it. Like, you get your heel, you know what I'm saying? And you kind of do it like that, minus storyline stuff. So, but like you said, he's obviously got a lot of knowledge with all this stuff. That's why he's coming up with this idea. So I'm sure he's got a few things up his sleeve, and obviously he probably has a bunch of people he could dip into to build a roster. That's the most important thing. Obviously, you want to build a roster, but you want to build a roster that's going to catch people's attention, bring your eye in. Because, yeah, the Ice Wars did that with getting some names, bringing it in. But what are you going to do after that? So they haven't figured it out. Whereas I'm sure he's got the idea of what he wants to do, how he wants to go about it. So now you just get the right roster, put that together, and now you can build. And God, you know, sky's the limit because people like fighting. People like brawl. So if you could just find a way to make it entertaining and making it where it can last, you're going to make money. It's just how can you promote it? How can you attract people? How can you build that roster? What are you going to do within that roster? And then again, like you said, it doesn't have to be one person, but who's going to be the face? Who's going to be the one that you want to kind of take you to that next level? And then so forth and so forth. So that's what it's going to come down to. But like you said, since he's very knowledgeable to all this to begin with, and having a background with wrestling, and obviously everything that he knows with hockey helps. And being that he had the visions and was over there, being a part of that whole thing over there, I think he's definitely got a step up on everybody else because he already knows what it takes to get it done because he's been there. So now it's just developing his own thing, and he's seen what the things were, the negatives on the other side. He's seen the dysfunction there, so he knows what he doesn't want to bring into his brand. So now he just has to figure out a way to market and get people to join into his thing, to find his vision and believe in that. And once you get people to believe in a vision, that's it. You just got to get them to believe. Once they believe, they're there.
So you know how you're saying who would the #1 draft pick be? I have 2 options. Option 1, we pick the legendary GOAT comes back from the dead, John Doe. We have you as the number one.
Well, no, I have nothing. I don't know none of that stuff. So, but I'm sure he's got someone in mind, and like I said, it's just a matter of getting that person and promoting it.
Matt Rempe.
No, he's not bringing wrestlers, bro.
Wrestlers, that's a hockey player. Plays for the
No, but I'm
Rangers.
saying he's not going to bringing those. That guy's. I don't know. Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't.
So, as much as I would love to do that, he's paid by the NHL, right? And the NHL is not going to let him go fight some.
Right? Yeah. Anyone on the contract, the NHL is not getting in right now.
I mean, he gets suspended every like few weeks. Might as well, after those like in that
Yeah,
week
but
suspension, just
there's stipulations in their contracts and stuff like that. There's no way they're going to let him go out because even though he's getting suspended, he's still under contract. He goes out and fights in one of these things, he gets hurt, they lose a player. Nah, it's not going to happen. Great idea. I understand where you're coming from with it, but they're not going to. NHL will never allow that with any active players unless he's going to walk away from the game there and just join this and go full ham. Which you never know if that's something he wants to do. But as long as any one of those guys that anyone he has is under a contract in the NHL, they're going to be off limits until they're out.
The guy that I would love to see, and I'm not sure why he wasn't part of, because he was scheduled to fight, I think, Corey Allen, is Catlin Big Snake. If he's
Yeah,
not signed on the contract, he'd be a guy that I'm like, yo, we've seen what you do. You're a monster. That dude is he's a beast. I would definitely, if he's not under a legit contract with Ice Wars, I'd be like, dude, you're going to be my first pick. You have a buzz around you already. A lot of the times on these reserves where they do Ice Wars, like I said, AJ was part of it.
Mhm.
He's already super popping over there, and you're telling me that they don't love their people over there? Like, I mean, come on, it's on the reserves. He's a big name.
Right.
He's, he coaches and everything. So I would love for him to do it. I'm so stuck on the rep your team thing. And like I said, I believe in AJ, man. There's everyone that I've talked to leading up to Battle for the Border, when I first started getting into this and reaching out to some of the fighters, all I kept hearing the name before I even knew who he was. Bro, I had no idea who the guy was, right? Like, I don't know. I'm new to it at that point. At AJ, oh my God, you got to talk to AJ. And I'm like, every fighter loves this guy, right? Like, that's all they talk about was AJ. And now he's going to start his own thing. Like you said before, there are going to be guys who are going to, well, AJ's the guy that signed me to Ice Wars. So because my loyalty is to him, I signed with him. It's kind of like when kids back in the days, say like name, but like a Coach K. If I join Duke, I'm only going to Duke to play for Coach K.
Right.
If or decides to leave, I don't want to play. I didn't sign up to play for whoever else is coming in. I came here for him.
Right.
So if he goes to like UNLV or Long Island, whatever, I want to go there because I'm signed up to coach under him. So
Right.
I think a lot of guys might be in that position where, damn, he was the one that courted me to play, to fight. So I think that could definitely come into play.
Absolutely, because you're always going to want to follow somebody that was bringing you along to begin with, and especially if you believe in that vision that he was sharing, and now he's
Yep.
just go. So you're going to want to, and then like I said, with the uneasiness and the things that are going on that people aren't happy with, and then they see, and if they don't follow right away, but if they watch and they see and they like what they see on the other side, they can, you know what, hey, we know what this guy's about. We thought we knew what this was about, but it's obviously, so yeah, he's got a lot of loyalty from within already. So that's big. And for someone to be followed by that many people, it says a lot about that person's character.
Exactly.
So right there, people are like, he's a stand-up guy. You're going to respect him because if you already loved him from there, you're going to look to follow him because that's a guy, you know what? I like this guy. He was legit. This, and that. You know what? Let's go see what he's got. Let's go follow him. And especially if they all got the same vision or idea of what they want to do, yeah, they're going to want to, market themselves. And like I said, there's so much to do. It's just finding someone who's willing to explore that aspect of it and then build on it. Again, like I said, we're new to this. I really don't know much about it stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just throwing things here and there. I have no clue. But just if I was somebody like that from the outside looking in, I'm looking to build something that is going to draw all the audiences, old and new. Especially, how do you get the younger generation now to follow something like this? Because that's the thing. Because the younger generation is what you need. Listen, there's only so many of us old folks left that are going to be able to follow. So you got to promote for the youth, whether you like it or not. There's got to be a way, through social media, however you want to do it, since social media is the big thing now of what the future is. So you got to find a way to incorporate that, but bring in that young crowd. And obviously, the old crowd is going to stay there if they like your product, but you still need to get younger people in to keep it going.
Trust me, that's not an issue. He has a plan, Arthur, and it's a good one.
Oh, I believe what I'm saying, but that's the key. He's got to be able to draw the younger crowd in because, as you see with a lot of these leagues all over the world nowadays, yeah, they go for a while with the old, but if you can't get it to get to the next level to these younger people, it doesn't last long.
See, and I'm glad we kind of talked the Monday Night Wars. I'm glad we bring it up on the other episode and we can talk a little bit real quick because this is what we were saying is that you have to build a character, right? Like, because as great as the Laportes are, that's all they're giving you is in the fight, right? You don't really get much out of them after that. There's no real character development. Like when you think, look at a guy like Conor McGregor, right? UFC let him go nuts. And when he does his press conferences, he'll come in late. I just don't give a fuck, right? Like he's talking crazy. He's a draw because he's making you want to engage, right? Like oh shit, man, this guy talks crazy. And I'm not saying that you got to be on there and act like you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm not saying that. But if me and Coach David are, let's say we join this Major League Hockey fights, if Coach David is the good guy, whatever he says, I got to be anti that. So I'm going to cut him off. I'm going to talk shit. He's going to play the respectful role. So the people who their demographics and everything, the people who respect that, oh, let the game do the talking for you, and they'll like him even more because he's not going to bite into he's not going to take the bait. So they're going to be like, look, that guy, that piece of shit over there, chef, he's talking shit. And look at this. The real man, the real hockey player, Coach David, he knows the game. He respects the culture of how we don't talk shit. But the people like me who are going to be like, talk that shit, man. Fuck that guy for staying quiet. You know what I mean? Like there's levels of shit. But when we're starting to do this, all of a sudden we're building up our match, right? Like our fight we're going into, we're promoting our fight and getting people to take a side before we even step on a weight thing to make weight. People are either anti-Coach David or they're going to be anti-Chef, and we're already building up on one sit-down, right? And if you beat me, oh, yeah, that's why you don't talk shit, blah, blah, blah. If I win, yeah, man, look at him. He ain't had it. He was scared. He ain't want to say nothing. So there's a devil's advocate to everything. But you got to be able to market. And with AJ having his own fight promotion, he knows how to promote. And with being a wrestling fan, he understands gimmicks are everything, right? Like, because if you become, let's just say they get like a John Cena, Hulk Hogan, and I'm only throwing up the big names, sell itself, right? Because even if, like, okay, so John Cena's on his last year. Every time he comes to arena, if you like Cena or not, you're loving it because like Cena's going to give you that shit, right?
Yep.
Heel Cena, good Cena, whichever. He knows how to draw a crowd, work the crowd, and everything else. And this is what these fighters are going to have to do. Instead of just worrying about the fight, as soon as it's over, you got to know how to work the crowd and make them want to cheer for you, good or bad.
Yeah, that's what it's going to come down to. But like we've been saying that with everything, it's just about being able to market yourself too and your brand, whatever stuff. Listen, you're not going to win every fight, so you're going to lose too. But how are you going to carry yourself in defeat and how do you carry yourself in victory are two different things that are going to separate you, which can either build you or destroy you. It's your choice. That's the whole point of everything. But I mean, it's going to be about marketing. And like you said, that guy, he's got a vision. He knows what he wants. And with all the other things that he has his hats in, helps him to be able to promote and build something here. So he definitely has a vision, and
That's one.
it's just a matter of him getting the right people around him to buy in, and then that's it. The sky's the limit.
Now, talking about gimmicks and stuff, I'd like to see like a person who has a gimmick where like he loses every match and then he like goes into like a villain arc and like wins, like just starts winning. That'd be like a cool storyline. I'm good with coming up with storylines, so hit me up, AJ.
Okay,
Yeah,
hold on.
storyline guy here.
I get okay, so I wanted you to end it out, but I'm not gonna let you end it out like that. If a guy goes 0 for 10, you're never in the fight. First off, you go 0 for 4, nobody really gives a shit about you. Right? Like
This is a Cinderella man.
Hold on. Like this isn't WWE where everything is storylined and we could build you as this. Real fights, people want to see wins. These are not storyline fights. You go 0 for 4, you're pretty much not giving me anything. Like, I understand the underdog story, but the only way that I see someone going 0 for 4 and then them bringing them back is if all your fights are all like decision where
Right, yeah.
it's not a clear cut. Then people like, I think that guy won that fight. Then people want to see the comeback. I get what you're saying, but you can't go on the deep end talking about 0 for 10 and then people give a shit about you. Listen, right now, even, you know what? I don't want to keep going to sports because we could talk about this all day. We ran a little longer than I thought because I was trying to keep these 15 to 20 minutes. 26-33. Scrooge McBains wants to throw a fucking wrench into everything we do. So listen, these guys, they're the crazies. I'm just here for the ride. Like I said, it's going to be Coach David, aka the pilot of the Millennium Falcon. That's going to be his shit because, listen, flying through buildings, I seen it. I lived it. This isn't make believe.
It was fun.
It was fun. I seen it. I was there, my own 2 eyes, trying to record. It was just, I'm trying to fire and we're flying through fucking Dagobah. You know what I mean? Like, this is not a game out here. We almost died out there. So, Coach David, the pilot of fucking Falcon, Scrooge McBains, who I don't even know what he's playing with over there, weirdo. We're out of here. Deuces.